Hola! Hola, chicas. Hola, mamacitas. Sorry, I don't know what's going on. Okay, guys, so I know it's not my best number, I know, but I've been trying to get back to reading after like February. I read 2 books, and in March I read 0. What? If you know, you know. I've been very sick. I was like dying, visiting hospitals every other week. But it's not important. I am getting better. The spring has come. Today we have the 1st of May and I come to you with my book wrap-up of the previous month, obviously. And I have 6 books that I've read, which, like I said, it's not my best number, but we gotta start somewhere, you know? We gotta start somewhere. So I've read 2 graphic novels, I've read 2 non-fiction and 2 fiction. Oh wow, I didn't realize that. That's actually pretty cool. So we're gonna start with non-fiction. First book that I read was Ikigai, The Japanese Secret to a Long and Happy Life. I was given this book from my boyfriend's sister, and she also gave me... Wait, no! She gave me 2 books. She gave me 2 books. This one I read in January. No, in February. Sorry, this was my February book. Okay, so I didn't say nothing. Sorry. This I read. This is the actual book that I read last month. I'm sorry. So, Wabi Sabi, The Wisdom of Imperfection. I'm really happy that I read this book. As you can probably tell by the title, it speaks about the importance of not being perfect, which is very important because, you know, in nowadays life, I feel like so many people kind of try to achieve the perfection that is simply unachievable. So, in a simple and accessible style, Wabi Sabi shows us how embracing our imperfection and impermanence frees us to try to better. In a way that what better means what really matters and what we truly want. This book can help you discover that you and your imperfect life are so much better than you think they are. And the accepting and letting go can lead you to your best and happiest self, which I think is so important and so good to remind ourselves, because I am this kind of person that I always reach for perfection. And at the beginning of this, when I was reading it and I was like, because, you know, the author was kept on repeating that imperfect is good, that we should not always try so hard. I was like, okay, but I'm still gonna do that anyway because I am dumb. No, it's just because I sometimes I can give myself hard times and I put a lot of pressure on myself because I do want to be perfect. And I know it's impossible, but very often I do that when it comes to my productivity, when it comes to the way I behave, the way I look. Sometimes it's just too much effort. And at the beginning I was reading it and I was like, but what if I wanna be perfect, you know? And that was obviously wrong of me. And at the end of the book, I actually got the idea of Wabi Sabi quite well. I'm way better with not being perfect anymore because I know it's impossible. I know there are only minds in my head that sort of stop me from like being my true self, because I'm trying to achieve something that is actually unreachable and I'm just going into that, whatever. What can I tell you? It talks about, you know, historical meaning of Wabi Sabi and the philosophy of it, also the art of it, because here he writes about way of life, about art, and about philosophy, and when we can find this imperfection in these 3 stages in our life. So that's what I like, because we can see Wabi Sabi art too, and like physical art, buildings, pictures, which I think is beautiful, obviously in way of life, and philosophy. I like these books because they hold on to a very simple ideas, but I think the hardest for people sometimes are the simplest things. You know what I mean? It's like we can say all the time that yes, I know, that makes sense. But actually, when you don't follow these rules, you can think it's simple, but you're not really doing anything. So the idea of it is simple, but you need to actually put that in your life to see results. So that was very good. And I do feel better about not being perfect. Good one. Next one, non-fiction that I've read was The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying by Marie Kondo, which was perfect. It's a perfect book for spring too, because it's a book about cleaning. What I love most about this is that it not only can help you clean your physical space, like around you, but also your mental space, you know, because cleaning and getting rid of things gives you so much space in your head and can just like magically put your head together. Does it make sense? So since I read this book, I get rid of have like 5 boxes of unused stuff, you know, clothes, some other things. And I love how she writes about this, because she follows this idea to surround yourself with things that only make you happy. So you have to put some things, you have to touch a thing, you have to hold it, and then you have to think, if that makes me happy, that brings joy in me, and if not, get rid of it. This tiny rabbit, I don't use it. Why would I use it? But I look at it and he just gives me joy. And those are very, very small things. Like, for example, I don't know. So that's the one thing. And the other thing that I really liked was also to accepting the job that the thing that you want to get rid of did for you. It's like, now you look at something and technically you don't need it and it doesn't give you joy, so you want to get rid of that. But this thing already gave you something when you bought it, for example. So I like this appreciation that she underlines, that whatever you're getting rid of, it doesn't mean that you wasted money or that you wasted time on buying this or whatever, because at the moment of buying or at the moment of receiving it, this gift, this thing already gave you something. So it doesn't matter if you're getting rid of the book that you didn't read. At the time of buying the book, you needed to buy it, and it already gave you some. So this is a very beautiful thought that I really liked, and I love the kindness that she implies towards things. You know, just being kind to things that surround you. So being like, thank you that you served me well, I appreciate that, and now I can give you away. And I just love it. It speaks of a huge awareness and appreciation of the world. So I really like this one. Now I'm going to talk about 2 graphic novels. I needed something pure and I needed something colorful after my sickness and basically dying. So I picked up Witch. It's the volume 1. I mean, it's a volume 1 technically, but it's like it was republished, and I think it has like few tiny volumes inside. Because like first publication, they were like those small comics. Do you remember that? I remember I collected it when I was like so young, but then I like got rid of it. So this is like first big volume, yeah. And you know Witch. Maybe you don't, but I guess you do know. It's about these 5 girls who has been chosen to be the soldiers, kind of to serve to the human realm, to save people. And it's like a whole situation. They need to protect people. They need to protect those magical passages that connects human world to the magical world, and they need to fight evil. You know, all of that kind of stuff. And I liked it. I really liked it because it helped me just to chill. Honestly, just to chill and sort of connect it to my childhood too. And yeah, guess who's my favorite one? Yeah, I'm a basic brush. Cornelia is my favorite one. Or is she? That's hard to say. I don't know. I'm gonna contemplate on that later. And the second graphic novel that I read was Pillow of the Woods, which is such a cute and beautiful story about this little girl. What's her name? Willow. Willow, who after a fight with her sister runs away into the forest, and she stumbles upon this little forest spirit called Pillow. And then they go on a journey together to help Pillow find her home, because Pillow got actually lost in the forest. I think that was such a beautiful and sweet quick read about love and family, because both of them deal with family issues and like issues of the soul because both of them kind of have their dark side of their feelings and emotions, and it is a beautiful story about growing up, really, and kind of accepting your demons and accepting your dark thoughts. I thought it was very, very sweet. I'm gonna show you the illustration. Very pretty, very sweet, and very spring-ish. So if you need something for spring, I think it's also very cute. Oh, and that was a reread, by the way. I read it last year, and now that was my second time. Now, fiction. So first I want to talk about Clara and the Sun. That was outstanding. That was amazing. I can't find even words for it. That's my second Kazuo Shigura book, and I didn't know. It's not the usual books that I read, because I like to read happy books about magic and fairies, and this one touched upon extremely important topics. Let me tell you that. Because From her place in the store, Clara, an artificial friend with outstanding observational qualities, watches carefully the behavior of those who come in to browse and of those who pass in the street outside. She remains hopeful a customer will soon choose her. But when the possibility emerges that her circumstances may change forever, Clara is warned not to invest too much in the promises of humans. Basically, we follow the story of Clara, who is a artificial friend, and she is in the store, right? She's in the store, and we just follow her story, the way she thinks, the way she proves, the way she evolves. Later we see her encountering this relationship with a girl that buys her. Well, actually her mom buys her for her daughter, but it's not important. I mean, it is important. And we see Clara going into this family, and it was just so interesting to see Clara's brain, because it's like you're not following a human, you're following a artificial intelligence. But it was just so incredibly interesting to see the way she observes, the way she analyzes things, the way she wants to take care of her owner, and the way she it was just fabulous. It was just really fabulous and very, very touching. The connection between Clara and her owner was also very interesting to follow, and just to be in this world filled of artificial friends was also interesting to see. It was more of a sci-fi story. That's why it was also new to me, because I don't read much of these, but I think it's so extremely good. And I knew it would be good because I also read Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro, and it broke me. This one didn't broke me as the other one, but it was also so good. It just gave me so many thoughts. I was reading it, and I was talking to my mom about this, I was talking to my boyfriend about this, and I was like, what do you think about this? And what do you think about this? But try to imagine that. There's so many themes in this book, and they just make you realize how messed up world could be. Not maybe messed up, but artificial intelligence is just crazy, for me. And the idea of the soul, the idea of being a human, it's just I love this one, and I would like to write something about this, like a research paper. But I finished my studies, so I don't have to. But if I did have to write a research paper or something, I would choose this book, because I think it's so full of possibilities. And the last book that I want to talk about, it's Stardust by Neil Gaiman. Oh yes. I picked this up because I needed something magical, because I needed a fairy tale, I needed a fantasy book, and this is perfect. This is perfect because this is quick, this is simple, the story is beautiful, it's a story of a quest, we have interesting characters, it's everything what a good fantasy book has. It's very proper, you know what I mean? We have a good characters, we have bad characters, we have curses, we have witches, we have kings, we have kingdoms, we have a romance. I don't even know how many fingers I'm showing, but it's a very good, very proper fantasy. And basically, we follow this young boy, Tristan, who lives in this tiny village at the one side of the wall. But the other side of the wall is this magical place, basically, and people kind of don't let other people, and basically people guard this wall not to come past it, because they won't have any encounters with magical things. But because Tristan wants to win his lover's heart, he crosses the wall, because he actually tells his his crush, because they're not together, he tells her that he will bring her a star, and she's like, okay, if you will do that, I will marry you. So he goes to try to find the star. But we actually follow a few plots. It's not only him, we also follow the plot of these three brothers, that their father is dying, and he's like, ooh, who's gonna find this magical necklace? He will be the king after my death. So it's just a cool story of quests. Oh, and there's also those witches who also needs to find the star because they want to be beautiful and young forever. That was so chaotic, you guys. I'm so sorry. But mainly we follow Tristan. That's the main thing. And like I said, it was just perfect. It was just so good. It reads like that. It's magical. It's very sweet. I really like the relationship between Tristan and other character. I don't want to spoil it to you, but I thought it was very good. read. It was like so proper. Like I don't know what other word can I use because it was just like so good. It wasn't anything like fantastic, but it was just so good. Like you had everything that a good story needs. And apart from that, you may know that Neil Gaiman is like one of my favorite authors. So, actually favorite one. So I have only few books that I haven't read by him. 2? No, not 2. I don't know. But my goal is to like read every single book by him. But that's not important. So guys, there will be 6 books that I've read last month. And I think it's not that bad. I'm getting into my reading game. And I'm excited about next month's next books. And I'm excited about spring because I'm reading many fairy tales books. So I hope you will stay with me to find out what are they. So thank you so much for watching this video. Tell me what you've read last month and I will see you next time. Thank you. Bye!